Ma'am, would you like to go ahead?
Sure. My name is Kathy Hamilton, and I'm here as a private. This gentleman was here first.
Go ahead. He's preparing.
Oh, okay.
We leave the French until the end.
Okay. Kathy Hamilton, I'm here as a private individual. I have, though, written a lot of articles about high-speed rail, and I submitted to the committee, which I'm very disappointed didn't show up. I'm sure they have a lot of things going on. But I wanted to make, first of all, a statement that I listened and watched all 3 hearings on the Bay Bridge. And, you know, lessons learned was supposed to be the theme of that. High-speed rail is Bay Bridge times 50. I wanted to say that there's another big difference between the Bay Bridge and high-speed rail, and that is that that it's a bond measure for high-speed rail with specific guidelines that are necessary to go forward. So you can change the project. I mean, you know, the people, Mr. Dyson, the professor, said do something different. Well, we couldn't do anything different because there wasn't enough time, and the Central Valley was the only place where there was flat, cheap land that was far enough along in the environmental process, so that's why it went there. But in order to do something that makes sense, something that we can afford, it will take a bond measure because the legislature cannot change the rules that are specific to the high-speed rail project. We did approve a high-speed rail project, not a transportation program. Now, that needs to go back to the voters, and be honest, you can't do a bait and switch. You can't tell them that we're going to do something very, very different. We did not buy mortgaging our state. That would equal more debt. It was supposed to be grants. I think Frank spoke about the different division, and I've been there since 2009, and I attended those meetings. Cap and trade was not imagined that you would match that to get out Prop 1A funds. I wanted to quote Senator Lowenthal, who also agreed that it should be L.A. to Bakersfield to bridge the gap. He said to John Chalker, who was a peer review group at that time, if the federal government doesn't come up with more money and if cap and trade funds are used as a backstop, then the state will effectively pay $17 million and the feds will pay $3 million to get an operable segment. Lowenthal continues, the legislature will no longer be looking at the voter promise of public-private partnership. We're looking at a fully funded state project out of the general fund. Senator Lowenthal turned to John Chalker and said, does that seem unfair? And Chalker answered, yes, it does. It's about the money. You have said many times, I've heard you at hearings, you know, where's the money from the Jerry Maguire movie? Even the auditor quietly came out with a report in February that said, you've done good, high-speed rail. You've done lots of good things here. You hired a whole bunch of people. That was thrilling. But the next thing they said was, where is the funding alternatives that do not rely on federal funds? Why does the business plan show profits in 2022 to 2023 and not until 2060? This is an absolute violation of Prop 1A. We need to rethink this. We need to change it. It cannot morph into something it wasn't designed to do. That's all I have to say. But thank you so much for your work. But you guys have been told, and you need to tell your colleagues, that they can't do this. It is not a legal system, and I hope that the courts agree with that. Thank you.
Thank you.